That's one small step for man.
It's just another Bronx tale.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Slice of Doom, episode number 8. It is Scagz here, and I'm joined, as always, by the king of the trash realm, Jimbo the Kid. We are back after a little hiatus. What's going on, bro? How are you?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Good. It's good to be back.
Yes.
If you listen to me and the captain's last episode, I did say that Jimbo and I, we had a little bit of a scheduling conflict in terms due to work. So we haven't been able to line up our schedules and do any more slices of doom. But we are back. You had a day off today. I'm glad you able to finally get a day off so we can talk about some of the crazy shit that's been going on. Got a couple of good topics tonight. We got two I'm interested in. Hope you're excited.
Always.
So me and Captain, we did kind of touch on this last night in our episode, but I figured it'd be perfect to start our next slice of doom right where we left off with the Will Smith slapping Chris Rock and the whole kind of debate we had about it and about freedom of speech and violence and stuff like that. So if you didn't know, or if you didn't see it, this was what, over the weekend, I think, right? With Dave Chappelle?
I believe so. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle, he was doing some stand-up comedy somewhere outside at the Hollywood Bowl. And a person comes up on stage and tackles him. I got the video here for everybody to watch. We will so if you're listening, sorry, you're not going to really get much out of this, but you should always like, share, and subscribe. Get on the YouTube, get on the Spotify and all that.
So he was attacked on Tuesday night. So this was fairly recently.
All right, let's get into it. This is from TMZ.
Behind me on the DJ table is one of the most prolific producers that hip-hop has ever presented, the mighty Mad Lib. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for hip-hop history.
There he goes. I mean, interesting. Looks like a hipster. So yeah, man.
Fresh from
I have
Brooklyn.
to say, let me close this out here. So you called it, man. When we did the last slice of doom, you said that what Will Smith did was basically telling people it's all right to attack comedians and whatnot, and people up on stage that are performing if they say something you don't like or whatever. I mean, I don't think Chappelle said anything here that this guy probably didn't like. The guy just did it seemingly for no reason. But you were right, dude. It's wild that something like this could happen in such a short period afterwards.
Yeah. And one thing about that situation with Dave Chappelle and Will Smith is, like, these guys worked and put in a lot of hours, a lot of days to get to that point in life where they can be on stage. And it could be any artist. It could be musical artists, comedians, whatever your craft is, motivational speaker, whatever your craft is your stage. You worked hard to get there. So, because I thought about it, I don't know if you've seen the pictures of the guy from the aftermath. They put him into a pretzel. His arm was like his shape shifted different ways. He had lumps all over his head. Yep. And I thought to myself, because that whole scuffle you see to the right, there's also other footage of him talking about, like, damn, like, I got, I'm winded or whatever. He's like, I don't even know what's going on, and they're still beating the shit out of him in the back. And I was like, that's not cool. Like, you're really jumping the guy. But I was like, you know what? I would get a few licks in there too. It's like, yo, you just tackled me on stage. Like, this is my time, and you bypass security. So yeah, it's a security. Bro. Yeah, it's a security issue. I would be pissed too. But supposedly he had like a prop gun on him too as well.
He had a gun that had like a knife on the end of it or something like that. I mean, that's wild. Who knows what this guy was thinking? But yeah, it is really wild, bro. Again, I'm just gonna make the ideological point that this is something that has been propagating in society for the past couple of years, right? Yes. That violence is okay, and words are not violence, but violence is not violence. And it is kind of funny how it happens to Dave Chappelle, who's been like one of these hot button issue guys who kind of just says whatever he wants, and he's gotten pushed back by the woke crowd who really propagates this words of violence shit. And now he's like the next person to get attacked. It is kind of funny too how Chris Rock was there and he came up on stage after and made a joke. It was like, was that Will Smith? I thought that was pretty funny, and that like perfect timing. You know, what a coincidence that he was there. Is this shit made up? I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? But yeah, I mean, the fact that Chris Rock was there was a bit.
And then he said that joke too because he hasn't really came out with like a public statement. I mean, he's been, profiting off of ticket sales because you called that too. That ticket sales are going to go up. I believe what was the Oscars, right? The Oscars ratings are going to skyrocket now next year to see, what's going to happen.
Right.
But like I've been saying, dude, comedians are under attack as much as we don't want to view them as ambassadors of freedom of speech. They are at this point.
Yeah.
And they're under attack, like physically.
Yeah. Literally.
And yeah, even Howard Stern, you have that article, right?
Yeah, I do. If you want me to pull it up, and we will read a little bit because this is actually interesting because Howard Stern has been a little bit crazy as of late.
And I was I'm sorry, I was shocked that he actually even said this because like you said, he's been like a
sold. Sheep lately. He's been sold. Sheep.
He was a sold sheep. He was a sold. This is what we're gonna sell out. This is gonna be
sold him for wool.
Yeah.
So during Wednesday's episode of the Howard Stern Show, the 68-year-old shock jock took some time to address the recent onstage attack of Dave Chappelle and how it garnered a much different reaction than Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. This guy jumped up on the stage and attacked Dave Chappelle, Stern said during the broadcast, per Mediaite. As soon as that happened, did they let him go back to his seat and laugh and sit next to his wife, then give them an award? No, they took him backstage. They broke his arms and hands so bad. They fucking beat the shit out of him. Chappelle was attacked last night. Blah, 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 blah. Let's go on to what else Stern has to say. Unlike the Academy Awards, Jamie Foxx came running out on stage and helped Dave Chappelle, Stern continued. At the Academy Awards, everyone came over and consoled Will Smith because it was a live television and Hollywood didn't know what to do about Will Smith. Smith made headlines this year when he slapped Rock, blah, blah, blah. Moments after the joke, the incidents. Okay, so Stern goes on to say, listen, you don't treat Will Smith any different than they did the Chappelle attacker, Stern said on Wednesday's episode. The audience at the Oscars gave Will Smith a standing ovation, and the attack after the attack, that's the truth. It's on film. It's not fake news. They didn't break Will's hands. They shook them, and it's wrong, and they should all be ashamed of themselves. Dave Chappelle celebrated 4 nights of comedy and music, setting record-breaking sales for a comedian at the Hollywood Bowl. He refuses to allow last night's incident to overshadow the magic of his historic moment. As unfortunate and as unsettling as the incident was, Chappelle went on with the show. So, I mean, good for Howard Stern. That's like the old school Howard Stern right there.
Yeah.
I give him credit where credit's due because I have not been happy with Howard Stern lately. Mm-hmm. He's saying the right thing, man. He's saying it's funny that he even says fake news right on there, saying how what happened at the Oscars, wasn't fake news. We all saw it. He's right. Maybe because he's kind of a comedian, right? To an extent, and he does a show which is offensive, and he's makes his living on saying crazy shit. Always has dirty fucking jokes, taking advantage of women, on the show. All this weird fucking shit he's always been done. That's his brand. That's his thing. So that's why it was weird, his behavior the past couple of months, like where he just became, like I said, a sold wool sheep.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe he's fucking scared someone's going to crack him in the fucking head now for one of these crazy things he said over the years. He does seem to be getting old and terrified. Right during COVID, he was afraid of everybody, of everything and everybody, as bad as anybody else could be. He wanted everybody to take every precaution to protect him. So maybe this actually goes in line with the fact that he's become an old man and he's fragile and scared someone's going to crack him in the face, just like he was scared of COVID. I don't know.
Yeah, you definitely saw him. That's why it was shocking when I read the article, and I thought Howard Stern was like, taking the side of Hollywood elites.
Yeah, me too.
I'll get to that. little what I think the Will Smith shows what happened. But for Howard Stern, it's like he has been sold out to his masters over the pandemic, and you can definitely tell, like, dude, you are so anti-establishment. That's the reason why your brand blew up. This is why you're Howard Stern, is you fought against the FCC. You fought against the government. Like you were the leading,
the tip of the spear. Yeah.
Dude, you were the beginning of what we're doing right now, broadcasting and podcasting. You paved the way. You were that bright light, and all of a sudden you just bow down because you're getting millions of dollars, dude. He's loaded, bro. From Sirius XM, and he has his masters he has to serve. Now back to the this whole point that Howard Stern is saying. We're getting to see how Hollywood elites have their own title, and they do not bound themselves to laws because they are not the common man, and that's what it shows.
Yeah, literally.
Because you could get this. This is the same incident where a comedian is telling a joke or whatever the case. We still don't know what the motive was for this guy to attack Dave Chappelle. Same incident, goes on stage, assaults someone. One happens to get his ass kicked. The other happened to go sit back down, enjoy the rest of the occasion, and then not only that, win the number one award for that show and get a standing ovation. So we're getting to see how rules don't apply equally.
No, they don't.
So, and for Howard Stern to say it, I was shocked. I was like, oh, we have to cover this. It's like, this is a good point.
It really is, man. There's two tiers of justice, right? The guy who attacked Dave Chappelle here is just a normal dude. So he got his ass whooped. You're right. Will Smith, that didn't happen to. And there's the funny thing, I'm going ahead and make the point, right? The people who are pushing equity and all this shit and, critical race theory and all these things, they're the elites, right? They're saying, equality and equity, equality is good. Equity, in my opinion, is not good. They're the ones pushing the shit. But when it comes to, when push comes to shove, it ain't them that's fucking operating on an equitable playing field, right? They're getting awards while normal people are getting their asses beat. So it's all bullshit, dude. They're all fucking full of it.
Yeah.
And they all have their own agenda, or they're just trying to virtue signal. Like Stern has done, like Will Smith has done. They've all done it. It's really weird. Your mind, I don't know what happens when you get into Hollywood, dude. Like, it's like a
just
bizarre environment. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also, I don't know if you know about this, but I think it was like a week after that whole Will Smith incident, T.I. happened to go on stage while a female comedian was performing. And I think there was allegations against T.I. about assault or something. There was allegations about him, and she made a joke about it on stage when T.I. was there. And T.I. literally got up from his seat and went up on the stage and was grabbing the mic and grabbed the mic from her and was like pleading his case, like, oh, this is not funny, this is not blah blah blah. And no security went and was like, yo, you can't be doing this. Yeah, like it's a different alternate because people are scared because of their status in society. And it's like,
at least T.I. didn't hit anybody, right? He didn't hit the woman.
However, if you're a stand-up comedian, your mic and your platform and that stage is yours.
Right.
So,
I agree with that.
He's not going to hit a female, but that's her time.
Yeah.
So so even him remotely, because like I said, if me and you were in a comedy stand-up show, like when we went to go see Dave Smith, and I walked up on stage because I didn't like the way he said something, they're kicking my ass out. They're gonna they're throwing me down those steps.
Yeah,
get out.
Yeah, 100%.
But like T.I., that didn't happen for him.
Yeah,
they just let him go. Why? This is the thing. Why? Why are we not holding them to the same standards as everyone else?
Yeah, I think the past couple of months too have proven it's also regardless of race. Right, the perpetrators of Will Smith is a black man. Right, it looked like this guy was a white guy. I don't know. I couldn't really tell. It was from far away.
I believe he is definitely a minority. He's definitely either Latino or he's African American.
Right. So, you could make the point of, if nothing happened to this guy, oh, it's because he's white and, nothing happened to him. But no, they beat the fuck out of him. Right. So, like, it's not about race, man. It's about fucking class, and it's about the elites and whatnot. They have a different set of rules. Fuck them. They're in another universe and they don't give a shit about us. It's all virtue signaling and bullshit.
Yeah, I just don't understand. I just right now with the whole attacking people. I've had this conversation on our show on the last slice with Bodega Cat. We got into a little bit of a disagreement because he understood what Will Smith, he understanding as to why Will Smith defended his wife's honor, that the physical assault was warranted. However, the words hurt more than the actual violence part. That the words got to him more than physical violence. And I was saying violence is violence, you know?
You see what I mean? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
I
you
know
can't
Bodega
just
Guy is a
say
great guy, but yeah, like that's becoming a common thought in society. You know what I mean? There he is.
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
sorry, muted. Yeah,
yeah.
it's a thing, man, that's propagating throughout society. Like I said at the beginning of this. Words of violence, not violence is violence, man. No, especially with comedy, like of all things. Comedians are up there to try and be funny. They're not there to piss, like they're there to make, offend you and piss you off, but not really because they're there to do that. They're there to make you laugh.
Yes.
Right? And that's just an avenue to making you laugh. No one is doing stand-up offensiveness, right? No one would like that if there was no humor to it. So it really is just a shame. And I hope people wake up and realize that's fucking retarded.
I would just like to make the point, and I know I'll probably get a little bit of flack about this, but I have to give credit to Joe Biden for having the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and that wasn't allowed for 5 years. They had Trevor Noah, which is also a little bit of a bias for a liberal standpoint, but he had a little bit of digs. I don't know if you've seen that, the Trevor Noah stand-up. He did have a few digs on certain, Fox, CNN, Biden, the administration. You have to protect comedians at all costs. It's the only way you don't take yourself serious. And that's how tyrants are created. You have to have, I'm not saying Biden is the greatest president ever, obviously not. But the simple fact that he held that dinner and had a comedian on stage also making jokes about his administration and also his health, that was pretty funny.
I'm not going to give them a lick of credit, right? Because a lot of the things they said are hypocritical. I know Trevor Noah said something along the lines of it's good to have, be able to have like a freedom of press and, be able to make jokes and things like that. All right. Well, at the same time, the Biden administration is trying to extradite Julian Assange for the WikiLeaks founder who was doing freedom of journalisms, right? That they talk about all the time as being so sacred and whatnot. So it's all scam, bro. It's PR. Oh, yeah. Right. Now people like you're going to be like, oh, yeah, look, they're not that bad. At least
I'm just saying on the standpoint of a comedian standpoint.
Yeah.
If you don't have that attacking a presidential, figure, and you're suppressing, because I know Trump didn't have that dinner. Just because that's how tyrants form. That's how fucking dictators form, is that you can't criticize my administration. Granted, it is Trevor Noah. I would have loved to see if they really wanted to go all the way with it, have someone like Crowder perform. That would be like, okay,
that doesn't this is what the whole thing is a sham.
Exactly. And it's all corporate shills. They're all billionaires sitting there, all obviously elites. It's a different class system. I'm not saying that I believe in the correspondence dinners, because Trevor Noah actually attacked CNN about CNN Plus, man. It's embarrassing, like these people really sit there and it's like, yo, you guys are jokes. You guys have now become absolute jokes, Yeah.
See, my opinion is everybody in that room at the White House, Correspondents' Dinner, they are the tyrants, right? Yeah, they are the authoritarians, right? And I'm not going to give them any credit. No, it's they are the ones that I give Trump credit for being like, no, I don't want to participate in this because you guys are fucked up. I wholeheartedly believe in what Michael Malice says, which is the corporate press is the enemy of the people. They are, and they should be regarded and treated as such, and they shouldn't be given a night to pretend like they're not, right? So they can, rehabilitate their image and sell it to people. It's like, look, you see, we make funny jokes, and we at CNN we take jokes and whatnot because they spend 364 other days of the year selling you shit, and trying to pit people against each other and putting out fake news and all that shit. So fuck them. It's all a scam.
I agree wholeheartedly. I just enjoy them squirming in their seats by the truth in a joking matter. The same way Ricky Gervais got up on the Golden Globes and gave them fucking reality checks.
Yeah.
And for me, that's comedy. I mean, what Ricky Gervais did was so necessary and needed, especially during that time. It was like, you know, nobody cares what you guys think. You know, Greta Thunberg's got more years in school than some of you guys, you know, and it's like, it's the truth. It's like, all, you know what it is? Everybody nowadays is activist. Like you said it before, teachers, everybody's an activist now. Like nobody, and they're all virtue signaling. They're not helping. They're just like, oh, this is wrong. You know, oh yeah, we have homeless people. Well, you know, just hashtag homelessness.
Yeah,
you don't even go out and help.
How many people are just doing it for the Instagram, the likes, and they're doing it for clout.
I've done it. I've got called out. You called me out on it. I put the black square up.
You meant that you were well intentioned at the time, though.
Yeah,
however.
yeah. But at the end of the day, you know, I didn't do anything. I sat here, you know.
Fair enough.
You know,
I forgive you.
Peace and love. You know, from here.
I know you're not nefarious as most. It's the nefarious people I hate.
Yeah.
Let's change gears here and get into something I really was interested in. This is a really interesting article you sent me.
Yeah.
I'm a big nerd when it comes to aliens and things like that. This is from Complex and it says NASA is sending new drawings of humans to space in an attempt to contact aliens. NASA will soon be sending nudes into space in order to attract the attention from aliens. UK tabloid The Sun reports, according to a study released by the Space Administration. The study was published explaining that the images won't be the nude photographs of actual people, but rather pixelated nude stencils of a man and a woman next to a drawing of their DNA. The sketches will be sent out as a part of NASA's Beacon in the Galaxy project, which aims to send a message to alien civilizations that could exist in the Milky Way. The male and female outlines will be waving hello, with each drawing attached as a part of a binary coded message asking alien life forms to make contact. Scientists believe the binary code could be extensively understood by extraterrestrials. Though the concept of mathematics in human terms is potentially unrecognizable to extraterrestrial intelligence, binary is likely universal across all intelligence, the study reads. Binary is the simplest form of mathematics as it involves only two opposing states, 0 and 1, yes or no, black or white, mass or empty space. That's a pretty interesting concept of how do you even communicate with an alien civilization that obviously doesn't speak English, probably doesn't even know what the fuck it's looking at on this pixelated tablet thing. It's fascinating, right? And it's interesting to see scientists trying to think of how do we communicate, right? If we send this thing out there and someone actually does find it, what's the best odds of them being able to understand what we even put on there? I don't know what you think.
I find it interesting. I want to be left alone though. You know, I don't want contact because we don't know. You know what I mean? It's like if they do show up, like what do we do? You know what I mean? Is everybody gonna unite with each other? You know, like what?
Maybe.
I think we will all be fearful of we saw like ships, like you know, Star Wars. They all pop out of nowhere. It's like, all right, where do we go from here? You know, but it's like the golden disc that's in the universe.
Was exactly what I was gonna say.
And it's one of my favorite things because I've always thought about writing a novel about it. And
really,
yeah, I've started you know, I have an idea book, and I've always written few ideas, and one of them is the golden disc and how we sent it out into space, but it hits another universe
probe, right? I believe Jamie's talking about the Voyager probe has a golden disc on it with
and it has pictures, it has music, it has our culture in it, different, you know, humans and stuff. And I always like wondered, I was like, what if it goes and travels to a universe where it's human forms like us? And at the end of the book, you know, someone's telling a story of how they found this golden disc, and it's in a museum somewhere else in a different planet, different humans, which would be kind of cool. And Doctor Strange obviously just dropped today.
I
not
haven't seen it, so
spoiling
no
it,
spoilers.
not spoiling it. But when they started talking about multiverses, a couple years ago, I was like, this would be an interesting idea if this happened.
Sure.
Because you never know.
Yeah, it would be cool. Maybe, in the future, humanity will advance technology so exponentially that we'll actually catch up to the Voyager probe and be able to take it back and then put it in a museum on another planet or something, or maybe back on Earth that humans, or maybe another planet that humans colonize, whatnot. It's like, well, you don't need this thing anymore because we already have technology to go further than it was traveling at the same time. One thing about this, now, who am I, right, to question mathematicians and scientists and why they've determined to use binary here? However, right, I find it a bit hypocritical or projecting to say that aliens can only probably understand binary. I feel like maybe that's a projection of human thoughts, right? Because humans right now are very binary thinkers, good and bad, orange man, etc. You know what I mean? So
I get it. Yeah.
We humans are very much so binary thinkers, but we're not at the same time, right? I guess we're kind of both, right? If this thing gets to an alien intelligence, right, and it's like a deer on another planet, they ain't gonna be able to understand anything. It doesn't even matter, right? They're a fucking deer. Even if it isn't binary, what's the difference, right? They're gonna look at it and keep moving and eating grass. Yeah. But if it's an advanced civilization like humans, they're probably gonna be able to figure out a more detailed, communication or something like that. I think this happens to be sort of the iron law of woke projection into outer space. People saying they're not going to be able to understand anything besides binary. Well, it's because most people on Earth can't understand anything besides a binary sort of thinking. But if some intelligence is going to get this thing, the only ones that are going to be able to understand it are highly advanced ones. So you might as well, full send. Give them full send. Give them fucking a laptop with the coordinates of the Earth on it, right? And let them fucking figure it out or something like that. You don't need to do a pixelated fucking binary representation or whatever. I also find it funny how they put a representation of a man and a woman. I thought we didn't know what those were anymore.
Ooh,
right?
Valid point, sir.
So I don't know.
Should have had a pixelated image of Leah Thomas winning the NCAA.
Maybe.
That would have been nice.
I don't know. Maybe the aliens will be able to figure out what a man and a woman is. Who knows?
Yeah. I agree with you 100%, man. Because if they are able to, like you said, if it drops on a planet somewhere, that life form, who knows if they have the cognitive function of understanding what it is. But if they are just space traveling in ships or on something in space, their technology has to far supersede binary.
Yeah, of course. Right.
Okay, they have to
maybe
understand.
They won't figure it out on day one, but they will.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably living in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th dimension, and they're just looking at this hieroglyphics. So look at these guys, Yeah, but like you said, send them a hard drive. Send them, a multi-terabyte hard drive of just our coordinates, where the White House is located, where all this stuff is happening, where the Vatican's at. Send them everything. Yeah. Send them everything.
I think another. Let's get your opinion here, because I know you said you want to be left alone. I think another interesting aspect of this is these scientists, NASA, they don't have any protocol for I don't know, operational security. We're sending off messages and things to other species or possibilities, right? What happens if they come back and they're like, oh, look, we could go harvest this planet for resources that we need, right? And look, they just send us the fucking, the breadcrumb trail of how to get there. I personally don't think aliens would do that, right? I think if they're smart enough to traverse the space and, and make contact and understand things, they'll be smart enough to understand violence isn't the answer. But who knows? They could be completely unimaginably different from us, and they could think completely differently. Maybe they only do think in binary, right? Who knows? I don't know. What do you think? I find it odd how a government agency almost is putting a teaser out there, yeah, this is our location. Come, where's the OS, bro? Where's the operational security for planet Earth?
Yeah, I agree. How are we going to send out a code into space to accept aliens to come to our planet when we can't even accept people crossing borders? in
That's a great point.
the world. Like, why, how is this working? Why are we sending out messages to aliens when we have problems here already, and we're not even, like you said, unified?
Yeah.
Like, there's still violence, and if they are smart enough, they would be like, this place is fucked up, we can't be here, and bounce. You know what I mean? It's crazy to think that, but why are we doing that? Like, why? Just like, what? I'm fine the way I am. I don't want to, they come here. I would just I'm fearful, because if they ever do show up, their technology far supersedes ours, and that within itself is dangerous.
Yeah, of course. Right.
So
they have where we'd be at their mercy, I guess you could say. And then knowing humans, my concern is not them, right? We'd be at their mercy, I guess you could say, because of their technology. But if they traverse the space, like I said, I feel like they'd be smart enough to know violence isn't the answer. However, we're not smart enough to understand that yet, right? And we are individuals. It's impossible to control every single person or every single nation, every single group. Are some of these groups going to be angered at the appearance of aliens, right? Some hardcore theocratic society or some greedy whatever. Yeah. And what happens if they attack them or shoot a rocket or something at them? And now the aliens perceive that as, holy shit, this race is hostile towards us. Let's destroy their planet. You know what I mean?
Because the minute any signs of aliens show up into our planet, the existence of religion just completely vanishes.
I don't think so, but it will definitely threaten long-standing religions, at least from their own. Like me, who's not a religious person, I don't think so. But I think the people who are very religious, they will feel threatened. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm saying in the sense of, if all religions have their certain ways of their Bibles, their form of Bibles, their form of Torahs and all this stuff, and all these old ancient scriptures and stuff, all those stories will just become non-existent, because we're saying that, for me, I'm a Catholic, so like Jesus Christ will come back one day or whatever. But if aliens showed up, it's like, yeah, all that stuff is out the window.
Right.
Like it doesn't,
did they
like,
have
religion
doesn't
too? Yeah, religion is just doesn't exist. There will be no religion, and then a new religion will form,
or maybe we'll worship the aliens.
There you go. Which I also have a conspiracy about that too. Like with ancient Egypt, there's some hieroglyphics where you just can't explain. You're just like, all right, maybe something was here that dropped human beings off, that we are just like, I that's why Prometheus is one of my favorite
I love those
sci-fi movie, because the way they begin the intro of the first one is just, I feel I think in my head that's how we are here. I would love aliens. Yeah, I would love to think that.
It's an interesting concept, man. Definitely. Maybe the ancient Egyptians did have contact with aliens, right? And it helped them get a little, maybe they helped them, progress with a little bit more advanced technology. For the ancient Egyptians were pretty ahead of their time. And then they left, right? And they're so far away, they haven't made it back because it takes a long time to travel such a far distance. Maybe they're just not interested in coming back, right?
Yeah,
they're on, they've moved on,
or they're probably just monitoring better, us.
Or maybe, right? Or maybe they just. Yeah, right. Could be. It's an experiment for them, like a science experiment.
What's interesting is like the UFO sightings, and I think it's been mentioned on certain shows and stuff, of how these sightings happen to start occurring more and more after the nuclear discovery, and maybe they're monitoring us, hopefully hoping that we don't blow each other up.
Could be they detected the detonations or the radioactive signature. And they're like, oh, this is interesting. They've figured out atomic energy or nuclear energy, and let's go observe, see what they've learned.
Yeah.
And could be. Who knows?
We're just ants in an ant farm.
Yeah. And they just want to learn. Yeah. There's been like the sightings around like warships and F-18s and things like that as well. They could be just interested in like sort of weapon technology we develop and just things like that. Who knows, dude? It's interesting. I've also had the theory that it could be humans from the future. Right. And they have figured out how to time travel, and they do their best to make sure not to interfere and to make themselves as, obscure as possible. But every once in a while, somebody fucks up, right?
Yep.
Somebody makes a mistake. Somebody pushes left on the fucking joystick and they go into view by accident and they get out of it. Who knows? Could be.
Yeah. How funny would it be if they go back after being discovered and they have to sit before council?
Right? Maybe.
You know, sit before a council, and then there's like a little like a floor that just like caves in and it drops them into like one of those Boba Fett pits or
maybe a
Jabba the
Sarlacc
Hutt.
pit.
Yeah, the Sarlacc
like
pit. Yeah.
A deatomizer. They just get vaporized or something like that. All right. So that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah.
should wrap it up there and we'll go on to part 2 on the last slice. Got a couple other topics we want to talk about. What do you got on the docket?
On the docket, I have the Met Gala just recently happened. We're going to talk about that for a little bit. And also Kim Kardashian sex tape has been brought up again by Ray J. And this is very interesting because there's some details that happened about it that might put some things into perspective about the Kardashian family. So we're going to talk about that.
Interesting. All right. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and go over to the Last Slice podcast for part 2 of A Slice of Doom. Take it easy, everybody.
Later.